Dear students, in the last class we have discussed about the hormones which control the ovarian cycle and the menstrual cycle. In today's class we will be discussing about the hormones which control which cause childbirth and also the hormones which control lactation. First, let us see the hormones which cause childbirth. Childbirth is the delivery of the child at the end of the gestational period, or it is called parturition or labor. And at the end of the gestation, the child is delivered through the vagina of the mother. And there are two hormones which cause childbirth. They are the oxytocin and the relaxin. Oxytocin is released by the posterior pituitary gland, and this hormone causes the rhythmic contraction of the uterine wall during parturition, that is childbirth. At the end of the gestational period, during childbirth or parturition, oxytocin hormone will be released from the posterior pituitary gland, and this hormone is carried by the blood to the uterus, and it causes the rhythmic contraction of the uterine wall. Then the hormone relaxin, it is produced by the corpus luteum and also the placenta. You know, corpus luteum is the endocrine gland in the ovary, and placenta is the tissue or this specialized tissue that is connecting the maternal mother and the child. So the connection between the mother and the child is established through the placenta. So the placenta is also functioning like an endocrine gland, and it is also producing certain hormones, and one among these hormones is relaxin, and this relaxin is produced during childbirth or parturition. So at the time of childbirth, the relaxin hormone will be produced by the corpus luteum and the placenta, and the function of relaxin hormone is to cause the relaxation of the pelvic ligaments. So the pelvic ligaments are relaxed, and this causes the dilation of the uterine cervix. So the rhythmic contraction of the uterine wall together with the dilation of the relaxation of the pelvic ligaments and dilation of the uterine cervix will deliver the child through the uterine cervix and the vagina of the mother. So these are the two hormones, oxytocin and relaxin are the two hormones which causes childbirth. Next is the hormonal control of lactation. You know that lactation is the process that involves the synthesis and secretion of milk and also the ejection of milk into the mouth of the child. So the milk is secreted by the mammary glands, and the mammary glands are modified sebaceous glands, and these mammary glands are present in both sexes, but it is functional only in females. As far as lactation is concerned, there are three stages or there are three phases in lactation. First, it is the development of the breast, and the development of the breast, the first development of the breast takes place at the onset of puberty. That is, when a female child attains puberty, the breast will develop. So that is the first step or the first stage, and the further development of the breast takes place during pregnancy. When this girl becomes pregnant, the further development of the breast takes place. So that is the second phase, that is development of breast during pregnancy. And at the end of pregnancy, the childbirth or parturition will take place, and after childbirth the secretion and ejection of milk takes place. So that is the third phase in lactation, that is secretion and ejection of milk. So the three stages in the process of lactation are: the first is the development of breast at the onset of puberty, then development of breast during pregnancy, and the secretion and ejection of milk after childbirth. First, let us see the development of breast at the onset of puberty. There are two hormones which control the development of breast at the onset of puberty. That is, when a child attains puberty, the ovary will produce the hormone estrogen. The ovarian follicles produce the hormone estrogen, and estrogen is the first hormone that causes the growth and branching of mammary gland ducts with the onset of puberty. The mammary gland is having numerous ducts, and the development of these ducts and also the branching of these ducts is caused by the hormone estrogen, which is produced by the ovarian follicles, and this starts at the time of puberty, that is at the onset of puberty. Then another ovarian hormone, that is progesterone, which is produced by the corpus luteum in the ovary, causes the growth of breast. So after puberty, the ovarian hormones estrogen and progesterone, they are together functioning and they are resulting in the growth and development of the breast. But you have to specifically understand that after puberty, the ovarian hormones estrogen and progesterone, they are causing the development of breast, which involves the branching of the mammary glands, branching of the mammary gland ducts. Next is the development of breast during pregnancy. The placental estrogen and progesterone, they are the hormones which promote the growth and differentiation of the mammary glands during the later stages of pregnancy. Here you can see the mammary gland. It is a highly branched gland having numerous lactiferous ducts and also numerous lobules, and these lobules, they are actually formed of secretory cells which are called alveolar cells, and these alveolar cells are found in groups or bunches which are called alveoli, and these alveoli, they have a cavity inside into which the cells can secrete milk. So the branching of this, I told that during puberty the branching of the mammary gland ducts takes place under the influence of estrogen and progesterone, and the further development and the further differentiation of the mammary glands takes place during pregnancy, and during pregnancy the alveolar cells develop. So only during pregnancy the alveolar cells and the lobules are developing, and this takes place under the influence of placental estrogen and progesterone. So here the estrogen and progesterone are secreted by the placenta. I told that placenta is the tissue, specialized tissue that is connecting the mother's body and the body of the child. So this placenta is producing estrogen and progesterone, and these hormones, they are causing the growth and differentiation of the mammary glands during the later stages of pregnancy. Then another hormone which is produced by the placenta is the placental lactogen, and this placental lactogen causes the enlargement of the breast and the functional development of the alveoli and ducts. So the placental estrogen and progesterone causes the differentiation of the alveoli, and the functional development of the alveoli and the ducts take place under the influence of placental lactogen. So the development of breast during pregnancy takes place under the influence of three hormones, that is estrogen, progesterone and lactogen. These three hormones are produced by the placenta. Estrogen and progesterone causes the growth and differentiation of the mammary gland ducts and also the alveoli during the later stages of pregnancy, and the placental lactogen causes the functional development of the alveoli during the later stages of pregnancy. Now let us see the secretion and ejection of milk. There are three hormones which causes the secretion and ejection of milk. They are prolactin, then prolactin releasing hormone, and also oxytocin. Prolactin is produced by the anterior pituitary gland. So the anterior pituitary gland is producing the prolactin hormone, and this prolactin hormone is responsible for the initiation of milk secretion by the alveolar cells in the mammary gland, and this takes place only after childbirth. I told that during the later stages of pregnancy, the mammary gland is undergoing full development, differentiation and functional development, and these alveoli are developing. That is, the secretory cells in the mammary glands, they are the alveoli, they are developing during the later stages of pregnancy. But secretion of milk will not take place until childbirth. It is because of the fact that the placental estrogen and progesterone, these hormones are inhibiting the prolactin. So the prolactin, even though the mammary glands, the alveolar cells in the mammary glands are fully developed during the later stages of pregnancy, they are not initiating the secretion of milk because the prolactin hormone is inhibited by the placental estrogen and progesterone. So the lactation is not initiated until childbirth, and after childbirth the placenta is expelled. So the placental estrogen and the progesterone will now decrease. So after the expulsion of the placenta, there is a sudden fall in the amount of estrogen, placental estrogen and progesterone. So the inhibition of prolactin is now removed. So the prolactin secretion will start from the anterior pituitary gland after childbirth, and for the prolactin secretion, the hypothalamic releasing hormone called the prolactin releasing hormone is essential. So this prolactin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus will stimulate the secretion of prolactin hormone from the anterior pituitary gland, and the prolactin hormone will now cause the secretion of milk by the alveolar cells in the mammary glands. Then in addition to prolactin, there is another hormone which is called oxytocin, which is released from the posterior pituitary gland. This oxytocin is causing the milk ejection. Milk ejection is the release of milk from the alveoli into the mouth of the child. So prolactin hormone is causing the secretion of milk by the it is causing the synthesis and secretion of milk by the alveolar cells in the mammary glands, and the milk is stored inside the cavity inside the alveoli, and this milk is ejected, or it is let down into the mouth of the child under the influence of the hormone oxytocin. So the prolactin is the hormone which causes milk secretion and synthesis and secretion, and oxytocin is the hormone which causes milk ejection. So this picture makes it very clear. This is the milk ejection reflex or the suckling reflex. First, the baby is sucking the nipple of the mother, and this suckling will stimulate the sensory cells in the nipple of the mother, and the information will be sent to the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus will now release the prolactin releasing hormone, and this prolactin releasing hormone will be carried to the anterior pituitary gland. The anterior pituitary gland is producing the hormone prolactin, and this prolactin hormone will cause the synthesis and secretion of milk by the alveolar cells in the mammary glands. Then the hypothalamus is also producing the oxytocin, and this oxytocin is carried to the posterior pituitary gland, and the posterior pituitary gland is releasing the hormone oxytocin. And the oxytocin will cause the release or the ejection of milk from the alveoli into the mouth of the child, which is called milk ejection or milk let down. So prolactin causes the synthesis and secretion of milk, and oxytocin causes the ejection of milk or the milk let down. So that is about the hormonal control of lactation. So with that we finish the module endocrinology. Thank you.